Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Monday night talking tactical time. Ever so slightly time. I say slightly time. It's a full half an hour nearly later than we normally start, so I do apologise. The Wales game overran, and then my contributor is running a little bit on the drag, but we're here to bring you probably an abbreviated show than what you normally would get on a Monday. So apologies for that if you're here for the full course, as it were. But we are live across the internet, and I need your help this evening to get involved in your show. Live, of course, the live chat is open, along with all the other methods of engagement. On the billing tonight, we've got obviously the England game, what we thought of that. I mean, what can you think of it after a 6-2 win? Overall Group B thoughts, one stand-up performer from Saturday, you know, that game we played, which seems like a million years ago, the amount of football we've seen over the last 24, 48 hours. Pompey thoughts, obviously tomorrow night, we turn our attention to the Papa John's. And of course, our segment for a Monday, Overreaction Monday. That's where you take a narrative from the weekend and you overreact to it to the absolute fullest. So what have we had so far, my friends? We have had Virgil van Dijk is overrated. We have had Erling Haaland is overrated. We have had Ipswich Town will have 3 World Cup players for England in the next World Cup. Caden Jackson is one of the best strikers this club's ever had. Various wild overreactions for a Monday. We'd love to hear yours. We'd love to welcome your thoughts on that one as well. I'm going to get a couple of comments. Early doors, evening, Andy. Nice that Mr. Southgate's been studying the way, which is playing, learning from Kieran McKenna. Good afternoon, good evening, Anthony Still, Mr. Parry, Chris Boyd. With the amount of injury time in these World Cup games, God, might be a bit odd missing going for 8:45. Yeah, you know it, Chris. I mean, like the Iran games today. I mean, did any child in England get picked up on time from school? Because the game didn't finish until like, what, 10-4 or something stupid. I mean, you know, just a picture of all these kids just waiting for their parents. Chris Boyd, keeping more at the World Cup. Imagine if we'd have said that a couple of years ago. I know. You would have been questioned. Chris Boyd, Ashton interview, very positive. Not heard it, gonna be honest. Keep pushing on all fronts, on and off the pitch, and with the community, former players, etc. Really encouraging. Lewis O'Connor, hope we get to lift the League One title at home and not away at Fleetwood. I mean, I want to win a league title, full stop. But does anyone want to win a league title at Fleetwood? It's hardly the most glamorous of places, is it? Stephen Parry, cheeky get commentator. Morel comes on there playing Ipswich. Would you rather be here? The other commentators, I don't know. Wes Burns should be there, let's be honest. I mean, the fact that he's not, just, I think, is terrible. But there we go. Right, let's crack on with the show. First of all, let's start with how we always start. No, actually, I'm not going to start with how we always start. I'm actually going to start with the World Cup table. Fuck me, the world's gone mad. World Cup in November. There it is, my friends. England, top of the group. Get used to seeing that. Wales in second. USA in third. And Iran in fourth. That is, I think that's confirmed. I think I'm going to go ahead and say it's confirmed. Gareth Bale, you know, the one they keep literally drooling over on the commentary. He's this, that, and the other. Done nothing for 89 minutes, but put a penalty away to rescue it for Wales. That actually works out quite well. We're bringing our contributor in first. He is, of course, a man that we've not had in a while, but we love him all the same. Be upstanding for royalty. King Kally Bisla.
We took 8,000 to a roundabout.
8,000 to a roundabout. What times? How are you, King?
I'm good, man. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. I'm looking at the big table.
How's the ice cream?
Oh, the ice cream was good. I didn't have the whole tub.
No, but yeah, it is acceptable. All you need with a Haagen-Dazs or anything like that is a spoon. Forget the plate.
Haagen-Dazs? Fuck me. Someone's doing all right for himself, isn't they?
Club card points.
Mate, I've got Miss Molly's vanilla ice cream that was like 80 cents for 83p if I refroze it when I got home.
See, that was the one thing I took a bit of offense from your picture. It was fucking vanilla. Like, of all the flavors, you went with vanilla.
I'm a rather vanilla person, Kally. It may blow your mind, but the closest I get to out there is probably a Neapolitan.
No, yeah, just chocolate, anything chocolatey, cookie doughy.
Like chocolate, milkshake, ice cream.
Problem is, I don't know if you guys have this, but especially in Indian households, you go to the freezer, you see a tub of ice cream, you think great ice cream, and instead it's like sag or paneer or something frozen or whatever. You're like, that's not what I was expecting.
No,
So
absolutely. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
yeah,
I buy the cheapest ice cream I can find, and vanilla's always been my favourite. So, but I didn't have the whole tub. But you know, I might have to if we play USA on Friday night and don't get the 3 points. Obviously, we did today though, Kally. We thumped our end, didn't we, in the end?
yeah, man. I wasn't worried. I didn't think we'd lose, but you think, climate plays a big factor into it. How are the
Yeah.
lads going to deal with that? I know it's evening, but I got friends that live out in Doha, and they're like, in the evening, yes, it's cooler, but it's very humid. It's very sticky as well. I know they got these big air conditioners on the side of on the pitch or whatever, so maybe that helped. But yeah, we were phenomenal today, man. It was brilliant. I love the fact that that some of the lads that missed the penalty got all the dogs abuse over the summer. They kind of responded. Bellingham's first goal for England at a finals. It's his first goal, and he chooses the World Cup finals to score. It's brilliant. It's brilliant to see, and it was nice of Callum Wilson. You thought any other striker
would have taken that on, yeah. But he's
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he knew about the thing, because apparently Grealish did that celebration because he met one of the young Man City fans or whatever who had I think a cerebral palsy.
Yeah, I saw that a bit on TikTok earlier, actually. Yeah, something about that.
Where
yeah,
you get all your news source from TikTok,
mate. TikTok tonight is alight with women just looking at Jack Grealish's calves. To be fair, that's all TikTok. I saw it on TikTok all night. It's that time of year, ladies. So it's just like people looking at Jack Grealish's calves, which I had never noticed, but they are pretty bulky.
Well, someone said, I saw like one of my friends, a female friend, and she's like, Jack Grealish is quite fit until he opens his mouth.
Fuck.
He's a brummy, leave him alone.
Poor
but yeah,
boy.
it was good. It's a good statement. I know it's Iran. People will say, "Oh, well, it's only Iran," but you got to beat these teams, man. You can only beat what's in front of you. Sets a good precedent. We should turn over USA. I've not seen anything in that game today to suggest USA are, anything that we should be worried about.
No, for sure.
I thought VAR again. It's not a football game or a World Cup game. If there's not some sort of controversy, hopefully we've got it out of the way. But I don't know how theirs was a penalty, yet Maguire was wrestled down to the ground in the first half and nothing was given.
Do I didn't see that. I didn't see that either, because I'm gonna be honest, I switched off.
The guy literally grappled him like a bear hug, like like WWF. What was it, Edge and Goldberg? They used to do that spear.
Oh yeah.
The guy's got him and he's spearing down to the ground. He's not even looking at the ball. And then the one that they give a penalty for, Stones has a slight tug on his shirt. Okay, it's a bit sneaky. He's got his hand behind his back. He's pulled him that way, but slight tug, nothing much. And all of a sudden, it's a penalty. But, fair play, a shout out to Iran's players, all the shit going on over there. It's good to see that they were in solidarity with their people. They weren't singing the national anthem.
No, big thing from them, that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of support for them over there, which is good. So,
that was really good, yeah.
And Carlos Queiroz is a good coach. So, yes, the talent in terms of the 11 may not have been great, but you got to believe that their coaching setup's quite good. So, it's a bigger result than we're going to give it credit for, or the media will give it credit for. It'll be Iran or whatever, whipping boys of the group. I wouldn't be surprised, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but I wouldn't be surprised that if Iran take points off either USA or Wales.
Well, they had the Welsh up next, didn't they? So that's something that we'll wait to be seen. But there is your your Group B league table. England obviously leading the way. I don't think the penalty will hurt us too much if Wales and USA are both currently on 0 goal difference, as they can't be separated by each other. But there we go, Group B. Before we move on to town matters and I get back to the live chat, any concerns with anybody else in the group, or do you think this is purely the only way England do not qualify is through England's own stupidity?
I think just that. I think we can apply the same kind of things that we talk about with town, in terms of the only way we get losses, or the only way we beat ourselves. And I think that's the same. You can apply that here with England. I don't see a single team there, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I don't see a single team there that's better than us. And yes, there's defensive. We worry about the defensive side of things. I thought Trippier looked a bit shaky at times as well. But 6-2, as long as it's almost that Joe Royal approach, we're going to score more than you. And
Score
hey,
goals, mate. It's what it's all about, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? I don't mind if we can see 2 goals and we score 4, 5, or 6 goals, then so be it.
I did like Southgate saying after the game, Kally, that we should never concede 2 goals, and he's upset with that. I mean, that's you don't want to nitpick after any victory, but that's the type of language and nitpicking you want to have from a manager, because you shouldn't have conceded 2 goals, one albeit a penalty, but the first goal itself. I mean, Mike the Fisherman thinks Pickford should probably save it. I think Mike's being very unfair with that, but either way, you shouldn't really be conceding it when you're in that much of a dominant stage.
Yeah, it's almost like we turned off because the ball kind of got zipped in behind, and I think it was like Maguire's got caught on his toes. I'm not here to bash Maguire. But I actually think, I know he's had a shit season at United and everything, but he's a different player for England.
Yeah, but I do love that TikTok noise.
Yeah, I do.
It's just so funny. You know it's coming.
Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire. It's always done by mistake as well. It's absolutely brilliant.
The goal that they score, it's Harry Maguire sleeping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stones tries to get across, but I don't know. To say Pickford could have saved, I thought it was a very good finish. I don't think the keeper would have saved it.
It's hit the underside of the bar. I mean, anytime it hits the underside of the bar and goes in, I think that's really unfair for the goalkeeper.
Was it Fisherman who said maybe Ramsdale would have saved it? I don't think any keeper would have saved it. Not even Christian Walton.
Bartos would have done, but alas, he doesn't play for us anymore.
So then he would have spilled it. He would have come 20 yards to the side, spilled it, given an open goal, and then they'd equalised or whatever. But
very true. Right, don't forget, hit the like button, hit subscribe. If you're listening on audio platforms, give us a 5-star review. We've got Norman saying link with Morgan Whittaker in January. We'll come back to that one. I'll star that comment. Norman will come back to that. He's NG Consulting. What do you consult on, Norman? Let us know. Have a free plug. And then pay me later. Kiefer Moore becomes Inter Milan's most expensive signing and takes the number 30 t-shirt to fill Christian Vieri's shoes. Monday overreaction. I like that. I'm going to start that one.
I didn't think we'd ever see Kiefer Moore. Like when we saw Kiefer Moore, if you'd have said in 10 years' time or however many years' time he's going to be at a World Cup, I would have been like, what? What has he got Iranian parents?
I'd have said, put those green shoots down, mate. That's what I would have said. I'd have said, you clearly got the heavy dose. David,
fair play to him.
England win the World Cup. Monday's overreaction. Paul P. Ashton keeps his targets pretty quiet till the deals are done. The Whittaker link seems a bit too much obvious. Jason Clayton. Ashton comes across really good again. Club going in the right direction. Club getting used to dealing with 28,000 match day attendances. Lots of comments on the Whittaker. So we will come to that, guys. I do promise you. Craig says Bellingham could be generally going to be a real top player. Do you know that was the first real exposure to Bellingham that I'd ever had. I've never seen him play before. I don't think. And it was, I mean, in the first 10 or so minutes, his first touch I thought was, who's this fella in playing in midfield? He can't drop a ball to save his life. And then he just switched it on. And then he turned from Cole Skews to Paul Gascoigne. Do you know what I mean? Like it was wow. Who is this lad? This is amazing.
So that's it. And he's only young as well. Whatever his transfer fee would have been, it's probably doubled now.
Triple, yeah.
And if he continues to have a good tournament, selfishly, I'd love to see him in the Premier League. But he's at Dortmund. It's working for him. He's doing, and he kind of at Dortmund. He kind of operates as an 8 or a 10, so he kind of drifts in and out of both roles, which is good to see. And yeah, man, it's good to see, man. This is we're looking at an England team, and you're looking at everyone that was scoring, and actually, like Raheem Sterling was the oldest person.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it's nice to see, we've got the young ones coming through now. And
those young lions, yeah.
I mean, they talked about, Bellingham scoring, and at halftime they're like, and his more experienced teammate, Saka.
What, 18 months or anything stupid like that? Ridiculous. Andy, does anyone know a site abroad that Town Cup time can be watched on? Well, it's on. I know it's on ESPN in the States, Andy. So I don't know if that helps you, my friend. But most sites
I heard, and this, I'm not advocating any of this, but if you were to say get a free trial on ESPN Plus whilst having a VPN connected to America, you may get all the content available, and you may see that game for free. Alternatively, if you've got one of these Amazon Fire Sticks, you may have the game available on there anyway. But yeah, so I've heard.
So you've heard. We don't know. I'm doing a matchday ticket from home Sunday, just to let you know.
I'm contemplating actually coming down.
home. How am I going to do it from home? Like, come on. 2022. Mike D. Sancho left Dortmund to go to the wrong club. Hopefully Bellingham chooses wisely. Good comment here. It might lead on to your one stand-up performer from Saturday. It might not. I don't know. But Trevor says Bellingham only slightly older than Humphreys. So who was your stand-up performer from Saturday? Obviously Exeter 0, Town 2. Back to the bread and butter. Who was your stand-up performer for Saturday then?
So yeah, when you asked me this, I was looking at it, and obviously I watched the show on Saturday and Sunday. Obviously was there on Saturday. I thought, Sammy was brilliant. I thought Burgess, absolute rock, and I've been calling for him to be back in the team. We look more assured with him in the back. But I'm going to give it to Ladaps just because he's been in for some criticism this season. There's a lot of talk about he won't score 10 goals before Christmas, and he's on 9, 7 league goals, but 9 total. So he could really hit those 10 league goals before Christmas. He could be the 20 goal a season striker, but he just looked confident. His link up play has always been there. I think the goal he scored, what an instinctive goal that was. Ball comes across, just get any body part on it, and he's kind of leaned down to get his head onto it into the back of the net, and then that's it. He's away. And I thought he did really well. Rest of the link up play, we know what he offers. We know he brings players in. So, yeah, for me, it was Ladapo. I've got to give him his shout out on there.
Big Freddie. Yeah, absolutely. Player of the Year candidate back after Needham Market. I said this lad would be a Player of the Year candidate. He's gone through some turbulent times.
I saw your other Player of the Year. I was chatting to him after the game.
Is he all right?
He's all right. He's enjoying life down there. So
the dream. I desperately need Big Fred to redeem any shred of a reputation I've got because Raheem sadly.
The Ladapo looks like when we signed. If you think about it, we signed a striker who's won promotion, a striker that knows how to score in this league, and now he looks every part of that. He looks like a promotion winning striker. He looks like he knows where the back of the net is, and for me, I know we'll go on to the starting lineup tomorrow and Sunday. Maybe not tomorrow, but certainly Sunday. I'd have him in the team anyway, just to kind of keep that run of games going.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. And again, do you just want to rest him? Look after him, rest those legs?
Well, you're playing Buxton.
Famous for the war.
Well, have we got enough minerals to beat Buxton? That's
this is it. Have we got the minerals?
Have we got the minerals? We've got, look, I'm not trying to disrespect them either, but you got to under 23 should be able to dick them. Let's be real, right? Come on.
Famous last words, really.
If we're playing up their pitch like we did with Bracknell and it's a crap pitch or whatever, and the environment, the stadium, all the rest of it, we're playing at home. We know the pitch, we know our environment. It's easy for us. We should be. If we're playing a senior squad, or at least half our players are senior, then I'd expect as close to a cricket score as possible.
Yeah. I don't think many fans would argue too vehemently against you. I mean, we are Ipswich Town Football Club, and we should have the minerals as we were saying to do it. Andy says the header from Harness Laugh was clever and class. When I saw that ball, I feared a shot over the bar, and he's spot on there. To be fair, Andy, about Harness there, because I've seen many a times over my 33 years a player would have tried to do some type of swivel on the ball and blazed it over, and on the replay, it would have been, if he'd only just played down to Freddie. But Marcus had not only the awareness, but the quality to really provide a cushioned assist.
Well, that's the difference between having Marcus Harness linking up with Ladapo rather than Drinnan linking up with Hawkins. There's a slight difference in class there, I think.
I like you.
So, two players are struggling in League Two. Two players are ready to get to the Championship. So, it's different quality, man. We've been so used to Dross, and for all the shit Fisherman says, he said some great thing. He said one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard, which is under Marcus Evans. We were shopping in the bargain bucket in bloody Poundland or something, and he was spot on with that. It was literally like everyone else's, like that Giovanni Brown. We had a chance to sign him under Lambert, and instead we went with Ollie Hawkins. And you look at Giovanni Brown now, and you're like, maybe that wasn't the greatest one.
Yeah, obviously I don't know how sort of to the point that is in terms of factually true. You obviously know people more closer than I do.
I know it's 100% factual, but yeah.
but that does sour me a little bit on the. But then against the Evans regime, when it's talk about Kiefer Moore, like the moment Kiefer Moore went out on loan and started banging in goals, everyone knew this player wasn't coming back to Portman Road to play football. The only way the only reason he was back at Portman Road was to collect his belongings while we sold him to the highest bidder. That was the only reason why he was here, because that was almost the Evans regime, and those were the times we do not go back there. We hope and pray ever again. Stephen Parisi, Freddie tomorrow, and Admi and Edwards on Sunday with them banned and cup tied. That caused you some issues, didn't it? The Hadmi cup tie.
It did. I Jackson down twice, didn't I?
You did. Mr. Cocky.
He's that quick. He'd be left back going to forward.
My reply, you sent through Jackson twice. My reply was, I know Jackson's good, and I agree with it. But playing him twice, I mean, it's a bold move.
That's how good we are. We don't need. We just need 10 players against Portsmouth.
Jackson at left back, Jackson at left midfield. Just do the whole left side yourself, Jacko. You'll be fine.
It's like that old Looney Tunes thing where Bugs Bunny's playing baseball with himself, and he throws the ball, he hits it, then he catches it, and then he gets himself out. Jackson, man.
Absolutely.
Add some goofy teeth and some rabbit ears to Caden Jackson, and you got Bugs.
Another player you could have highlighted, obviously, Burgess. Is it now Burgess' position to lose? Is Edmondson now the odd man looking in? How are you doing it for a competitive league game from now on in?
Yeah, as we were. And again, I've talked previously about Fridge. I thought in it, and I know in a 3 he doesn't look as great. He is a good defender. There's no question about it. I think he suits when he's got a centre back partner. So not when he's on the left. If he was to play in a 3, he has to play in that central role. But I don't see how he gets Wolf out of that side. But I think in this league, the thing that we've come unstuck on several occasions, and where we've given away 2-goal leads and shit like that, is the ball's being pumped into the box. And I said before, you had 2 of our best players in the air, defensively anyway, with Burgess and Greg Lee. They were both out injured. Burgess is now back. Lee should be back, hopefully tomorrow, definitely Sunday. So we're getting them back. We should be able to deal with that aerial threat. In this league, you don't need to have all 3 of your centre-backs being able to play football. You want someone that's just going to lump it long, get on the end of it, head it, whatever, into Rose Ed. And that's what Burgess gives you. And let's not forget, before Burgess signed for us, he was the League One Defender of the Season. So he was the League One Defender of the Season at Aki. He signed for us for a decent fee. I think about $750,000 we paid for him. So he's not a shit player. But obviously, Fridge was just so phenomenal in a 4. I think if you play a 4, yes, you'd probably play Wolfie and Fridge. But at the moment, the way we're playing with 3 at the back, it's got to be Burgess. He's an absolute man mountain. Like anything coming. And you know what was so impressive? You talk about the mental block players have, and we're all natural. We've all played a bit of football. We've all, yeah.
Gillian. Those were times.
Where's deep? But you talk about, like, we all play a bit of football. We've always might have had an injury. You might have popped a knee or your ankle. Next time you play football, you're a bit more cautious on going into a tackle, or a bit more cautious into doing something. We've seen it with, Wenger famously talked about it with Reyes and Ramsey when they had their kind of bad injuries. Burgess, first couple of minutes, he's getting his head on everything. There was no mental block there. Whatever mental block there was, he was over it. He was like, right, let's get back to it. So that was good to see, because you do worry sometimes that, is he going to be the same player coming back after what was a really, nasty injury. Yeah,
and he actually said, didn't he completely forgot he had the mask on after a certain period of time. So that's, really good. And I think the stats, as Rich was saying yesterday's podcast, if you've not heard it, jump back and have a listen to it. He was saying, with Burgess in the team, we just win. That's all we do. So,
Don't you feel, and again, I'm not trying to disrespect Fridge, but I feel more assured. Like, we was 1-0 up, and then, we didn't get the second till about, 65th minute, around that time. But I didn't feel that they were going to score. And then certainly when it was 2-0, I know we've given away a lot of 2-goal leads, but I had no doubt once it was 2-0, it was like, yeah, even if they by luck they get a goal. And to be honest, I thought Leif Davis gave away that penalty. If I'm being fair, I did think that was a penalty.
No, I didn't.
But it's contact.
On first view and on replay, I didn't think it was. No. I didn't think it was. No. And if that was Chaplin was fouled against Plymouth.
Well, we know that, but I still believe that's what I mean. I still believe that was a foul. So
because it was to this day, it was a foul. It really was.
It's all right. It'd be the highlight of their season, next to them making the playoff semi-finals.
Well, we'll get to that in a second because we might be making them a little bit weaker. We've got Stu Blue 72, Bez improved 30% under McKenna. Down the way, Mark Ashton was speaking earlier. They're definitely looking for more improvement in January, as they should bloody hope. I should hope so too. A few players were looking over their shoulders. Stephen Parry with 3 brand new training pitches. I will listen to this or read this or wherever I may find it. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget it because mine's like a sieve. And we will talk about it on Wednesday's show, just in a lot more detail, of which I currently have no contributors. So that's one thing I've got to do tomorrow morning. I'm glad I looked at the diary then. Otherwise, I'd have turned up Wednesday afternoon and gone, oh, shit. Right. So, yes, we will talk about it on Wednesday. I do promise you that. Right. We are 26 minutes into the show. Not too much longer left, but we've still got some good talking points to get through. Don't forget, become a Talking Town 5th standard today. Hit the join button or head to Ko-Fi, sign yourself up. $4.99 a month. Great value for supporting the platform. It's for fans, by fans, one club, one community, one Ipswich Town. And you get access to the Discord, which just every time I log in, my phone has a meltdown with the amount of messages it's catching up on. It's like
I end up getting hungry. Everyone putting plates on there. So I've got to jump off it.
Yeah. The rate my plate bit on there is pretty good. It's pretty good. Right, we've got Benjamin Michael Dan missed the show. Was an online hypnobirthing class. I did that with my first. I've got a book that we're reading through.
Hypnosis, like.
And it's all about positive mental frame and calm and breathing and touch and it's all that sort of stuff, So you got like I've actually had to record it, which of course. I've started the hypnobirthing with "Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends," because you got to get into character, right? You got to, you just got to. So every hypnobirthing class she's got does start with "Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends." Trademark, copyright.
It's not like someone standing in front with a pocket watch saying, you're going to give birth just like that.
No. You're just rubbing her back, saying, "You're I don't know. Let's say right. So you're on top of a staircase. 10, 9. Go down the step. 8. I will release these hypnobirthing for you all because I happen to think vainly my voice on it sounds proper. Lambert.
Yeah. Ben's got a new intro for you there.
Hello, my child, and you are my child. Yeah, that's not a bad one, there, Ben. That's not a bad one.
He's going to be asking for royalties.
Hello, my dad, and you are my dad. There you go. I mean, this could be the family slogan. Like Bruce Forsyth, nice to see you. Nice. Craig at Portsmouth. I think it's good that someone will be looking over their shoulders. The whole club is moving forward. Yeah, Ben. I was going to say that myself, but I didn't go there. Stephen Parry, think Whittaker might be an option. Swans are sick. They might need to sell to invest, make Premier League push, and he's not needed now. So yeah, Whittaker possibly coming in. Obviously, there's a link. There's a rumor. I did mention it. I reckon Ashton will be looking at him a couple of months ago. Can't remember when it was. I said it. Thoughts on that one?
It'll come down to the player. It'll be down to the player what he wants to do. I personally don't see him come in. I don't think he'd make the decision to come across. He's in a good vein of form at Plymouth. Plymouth are doing well. If he leaves, will that not? It's not just about disrupting Plymouth. It will maybe disrupt him. As we've seen before, we've taken players like Scott Fraser as an example, and then they've just not fitted into the team. He is a player that I think would suit McKenna's kind of systems. He's a player that would complement the rest of our team.
And it makes Plymouth weaker, which is obviously always a good thing.
Yeah, but again, like I said, I just don't see. First of all, we'd have to, for Swansea to cut the loan short, it's got to be an offer. So it won't be another loan unless it's a loan with the option to buy, because I don't think Plymouth have an option. So there might be a loan to option to buy. And from what I understand, I think Plymouth are paying about 20% of the wages. We could probably pay 50, 60% of those wages. So we could have a bigger financial contribution. But I think it will come down to Whittaker himself, whether he wants to come down here. At the moment, he's kind of the number one man there. Yeah, but you're going to come to
30,000 fans or 10 and a Cornish pasty.
Well, what the one other way to look at it is top of the league or second.
Well, there is that. Yeah, there is that. They mentioned it.
And at the moment, like, okay, they had a bit of a shake, but again, they had a shake last week and this week, and we haven't capitalised on them because of the Lincoln and Cheltenham and maybe Charlton results as well. 6 points we've dropped there. Where if we'd have kept them, we'd be clear at the moment now. But I think it'd just come down to him. I'm not as convinced. The only thing I'd say is Ashton normally keeps a lot of things to his chest. So if it's come out in the paper from an official source, then the deal's probably close. If it's been leaked by, a wannabe in the NOAA, ITK or whatever, then I'd say that's probably just someone clutching at straws more than anything else.
Fair play.
But would be a good signing.
I'd take it.
Yeah, I'd take him, but then where does he fit? Because he's not going to be. Is he going to be a number one striker ahead of Ladapo now, who's found form now?
Yeah, we rotate though, don't we? Like we do. I know people at the weekend were saying, "Oh, where are the people that said we need a striker now?" We still do need a striker, just because Big Fred is it. John Jules was the backup, and he's now injured.
Yeah, but that's what I'm going to say. Is it because John Jules is injured, and when's he back fit? Because then you're going to have a surplus of strikers. And how do you keep everyone happy?
But then also, and we've got Phil waiting, coming on to bring Phil in just a second. But then also, you can look at it and go, okay, even if John Jules is back in January, long term, is he here next year, or would Morgan Whittaker be here if you were to be promoted? Yes. If you were to be promoted, yes. Like loan players, their future is undecided past May the 1st. Whereas if you bought a player in January, you've got him for however long you want him for.
Yeah, so then what are we saying, that would send TJ back to Arsenal in January?
You could keep him. I mean, when it all depends when he's like Lee Evans, for example. Like people, Humphreys has got a really good extended run of games in this team, because one thing I think we've been really shown by McKenna and the medical team is that they look after players. Thank you very much, David. €10 there. We appreciate that. Thank you ever so much. They really look after players, and look at Kamara. It's not, oh, you fit, bang, straight in the team. Let's go. So when Lee Evans is fit, he'll be fit as in on the grass, resume team activities. But I don't think we'll see him for a number of weeks in a proper competitive. Certainly not 90 minutes. So that's another couple of weeks. So same with John Jules. If he's back on January the 1st, it could realistically be end of Jan before you're seeing real conceivable game time from him, couldn't it?
Yeah. And that's good, because like you said, we're not rushing people in.
No, we're looking after
Kamara's prime example. He could have had a 90-minute start by now, long time ago. Certainly under
previous regimes, I'm sure he probably would have done.
And been injured straight away.
Well, Norwood said on this show, he said that he'd probably be, come back a bit earlier than he should have done after a couple of injuries, etc. So, and look at today in the Iran game. Sometimes players don't know they need to be off the field until they need to be like.
I think the Iran goalkeeper was pressured by his captain.
I think either way, players want to play, and it's now
that player. He was ready to. He was ready to come off. His top was off. His gloves were off, and then his captain said, "Here, have some water. You'll be fine." Did you see that? Just dashed water on him. Said, "You'll be fine. Don't worry about it."
Water test. Yeah, I mean, it's all it's like the old magical spray on a Sunday morning, isn't it? I got a kick. Where's the spray? Suddenly, you're Iron Man. Yeah. Burgess' quality, yes, Colin, he is. Stephen Bills, Ashton was correct as saying they want better quality than they have now. Yeah, okay. I look forward to this interview. You keep bigging it up, people. I'm loving it. Drop me down where I should find this interview while we bring in Phil. And Phil,
I think it was on the club site, wasn't it? And I think KOA did one as well. So there's 2 interviews.
Good stuff. So we got that's 2. I like that. Phil, how are you, my friend?
Good, thanks.
Good man. You're
He's
smiling.
very smiley.
I'm not laughing at some bloke getting knocked out, Phil. No, I don't. I mean, I didn't know that. Wow.
He's concussed. I wanted to see his throw, because he's got a world record throw, isn't he? Their goalkeeper, but we never got to see that. So I was but to be fair, I heard an interview with Carlos Queiroz after, and he was just saying, he kind of slammed his goalkeeper. So like the sub goalkeeper.
How do you slam the ball? Like he's literally just been slammed. Like he's literally gone through into the next position.
the sub one, the one who come on, he was basically alluding to the fact that
okay.
if their man had stayed on, that they wouldn't have conceded that many goals, which I don't think.
That picture there looks like he's been knocked into the fucking next dimension, poor bloke. Like, literally, that is a nasty collision. Ow.
I must admit, when I saw the state of his nose after that, I thought, poor guy. He's just had his sort of nose rearranged. That looked terrible, by the way, afterwards. I mean, say his nose was just like...
It was massive, wasn't it?
It was huge.
Well, yeah, I can imagine it probably was after that collision.
I'll
tell you what...
That'll probably be the end of his World Cup, won't it? Unless they get out of the group. Because
they were saying that in the commentary, weren't they? Because 10 days, I think which they should, to be fair. I was just surprised they didn't have a proper a neurological doctor that was there to say, look, this guy needs to come out of the game for a period while we assess him, and then we could put him back in if he passes the assessment. The fact that it was kind of, do you want to carry on? Yeah, all right then. Fuck me, the poor bloke's in the next dimension. He ain't got a clue what his name is, let alone where he is, what he's doing, or why he's there doing it.
Seriously, he looked like he'd been in a boxing match. He looked fucked. He looked like,
yes.
You know, you see the boxers, they've been knocked down, and they're like, the ref's like, where are you? And he's like, I don't know where the fuck I am. That's literally what he looked like. So,
poor bloke.
Hopefully they qualify. You know, hopefully they qualify, and Wales and USA don't. That would be good. But I don't know if that will happen now. We'll see.
Yeah. Right, Phil. I tell you what does look good. This league table. Look at it.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Beautiful. Talk to me about this one. What do you think then? You've heard Kally. What's on your mind?
Well, I do agree with you, Kally. I think that I think Whittaker probably won't come. But what we'll say is that Plymouth play in a similar fashion to us, and I think he would be a good fit for McKenna's team. I would say January, it's an awkward month to go buying players, but Ashton, I'm saying looking at TWTD, he's said now that we'll be having activity in January, which I'm saying we all knew about. Injuries to Don Ball and Tyrese, we need a striker. I think we need a striker to provide competition, Fred.
Do we need a midfielder?
I would say if Evans has a quicker recovery time, then I hope that we can expect to see him back beginning of January. So it's not a huge concern. I'm saying we do have three, midfielders for those two berths in central midfield. So I'm not really overly concerned about central midfield at the moment. But I think myself, along with many other Town fans, would like to see a striker come in January.
Just to provide some adequate cover, competition, as it were. Norman thinks Edmondson is at risk of being moved on in January. Any risk of that for you, Phil?
Well, I've said this before in the season, that last season I felt, when I saw Fridge play at the back, with the way that we were playing, I know it's different now this season, but I just felt with him there were holes in that back line with the way that he played. It's one of those. It's like right now, there's no way that I would let him go, in January. It's just, I'm saying what I said about Burgess after the game. He's one of those players. There's just a presence about him. Now with Edmondson, when he came in beginning of last season, he made a real difference. But at the same time, there were holes, and that's all I can say. I just when I was watching his play, I just felt that with him at the back, there were holes.
I think in a four, like I said, he's a good defender.
Yeah.
Right. Or if you're going to put him in that central role instead of Wolfie, it would make no sense at all to sell him this transfer window in January, because then it still leaves you a bit light at the back. And as we've seen, players get injuries. If Burgess gets another injury, or if Wolfie gets an injury, or Keogh, or whatever, right? And certainly, I think in the pecking order, he's above Keogh. So you got to believe that if Burgess or Wolfie comes out of the team for a rest, the natural replacement is going to be Fridge. You know, like I expect to see Fridge tomorrow to playing. You know what I mean? And he'll be the one. He'll probably you know he'll score a winner at Wembley in the Pizza Cup or whatever when we win that competition. But I don't know. I think he's a good squad player. Like McKenna said, we don't have a select formation. He looked good under Cookie because I don't think we took enough risks going forward, so our defense wasn't as exposed. And our defense, you know, was quite solid under Cook for some parts of the season. We got some good clean sheets and stuff like that, but we weren't scoring, weren't really kind of attacking at the other end. Now we're playing a bit more football with a bit of a risk and taking those risks. You want those players a bit more confident and stronger on the ball. And you know, for me, Burgess just gets ahead of Fridge, and certainly in that three, I think he looks a natural. Remember, he played a couple of seasons, 2-3 seasons for Aki as a third centre back. Anyway, that's where he was defender of the season in that position. So you know he knows the position. I think Fridge is getting used to it. But selling Fridge is just stupid. You know, what a person to have on your bench. You know, George Edmondson. You know, you need to shore it up or whatever, bring him on, or you got Keogh or whatever. And no, I wouldn't get rid of him. I think, you know, defense. Okay. You don't need to change anyone at the moment.
What I will say about Whittaker is that, you know, he's only 21, so I guess on paper, long term, we would definitely be a better long term option for him, and he'd probably earn more here. Anyway,
it depends though, because he's contracted to Swansea, isn't he? Right, who are a Championship club, and we're all taking it. Yet we're going to get promoted. We're going to be Championship next season. The facts are, at the moment, we're a League One club, as is Plymouth. The facts is Morgan Whittaker is a Championship contracted player. At the end of the season, if I was a player in his situation, I'm playing for a team that's top of the league. I don't want to disrupt that. I'd play for the rest of the season, see how that goes. And then I might get a move to another, you know, established Championship club, or maybe even someone that's fighting to go up. You know, because I know, as an example, I know QPR scouts have been watching him. So, like, you know, QPR knocking on Premier League. So, you know, they could go up this season. So, I don't know. I think January is one of those where it's hard for play to get the right player to commit to. You know, you're talking about someone's future. If, you know, the only way I see us getting him here is on a loan with the option to buy. We won't. I can't see him agreeing to want a permanent move here.
Having said that, though, thinking about it, you know, beyond this season, which I personally now think that we will be a Championship club next season. I think McKenna is probably got his eye on one or two attack-minded players that are capable of playing in the Championship next season, and I think, you know. I'm saying it looks like that he will bring in another striker in January. I think that player will be a player that will be capable of playing at a high level. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Sorry to cut across, but isn't that hasn't the whole recruitment strategy been that kind of from the moment game took over? You know, Chaplin was a Championship player. Harness, we beat off Championship teams to sign. You've got numerous others that you could say were either Championship bound or should be or have stepped down. So that, you know, it's not a giant leap to suggest that's the route to be taken. In all honesty, it's just whether or not you can attract those players in January. That's the key, isn't it? That's, you know, because look at Morgan Whittaker as a prime example. You could be doing to Plymouth what we did to Barnsley with Kiefer Moore, to use Wales who played this afternoon. Goes to Barnsley, scores goals, we recall him, we sell him to whoever he ended up going to, or whatever, whichever club it may have been, Rotherham, Barnsley. I've got a number of clubs aware that may have factored in that triangle there. It's not going to be free, though, is it? You know, Swansea aren't going to say, you know, we like you, Mark Ashton, or we like Ipswich Town, or we know you're one of the country's biggest clubs from the 80s. We'll recall Morgan Whittaker and we'll sell him to you for absolutely nothing. They're going to want a top fee, and it's January. How badly do you want him? How badly do you want any player of that quality? And it's going to be a little bit 10, 20, 30% extra than perhaps it would have been in the summer when you've got any number of players to choose from. And to hear what I'm hearing today in the chat, that Town are active or will be active, isn't a surprise. What would be a surprise, though, is the activity. I thought it'd be loans, more academy routes, because I think that's a way of filling out the back end of your squad while also not committing a huge amount of resources when you know, everyone thinks we're championship bound, but till you actually are, you can't really budget as such, can you, Phil? Kally's got a team for tomorrow night. Kally, I'm gonna let you read it out to Phil. You tell me who's in your team for tomorrow, and then I'll get Phil's thoughts, and then we'll go on to Overaction Monday, and we'll close it down.
So I've gone for like a 5-2-3, so like wing backs. So we've got Hladky in goal. My 3 central defenders, I've got Keogh, Fridge, and Abaji, the young academy player. I thought he's had a few good cameos. And then right wing back, I've gone for KVY. Left wing back, I've gone for the real Eduardo, not the fake, the real one. Our 2 central midfielders, Humphreys and Kamara, and then Tanda Chihuahua, Caden Jackson, and Connor Chaplin up front.
Who's leading the line?
Jackson.
So Jackson's going from right wing or left wing to a central position under you.
We had to change it.
That's fair enough. I
mean,
mean,
and they told me Adami was cup tied. I was like, shit.
yeah, he is. That's the thing. So I guess, you know, for Buxton, you could see a Chaplin drop out and had me come in, and then you're going to rest Chaplin.
I think for Buxton, you'll see a strong team.
Okay, cool.
I think you'll see a similar team that played Exeter.
Okay, all right. But Phil, for now, that was Kally's 5-2-3. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, that sounds like a team I'd play against Buxton.
Apparently, Edwards is suspended, says Beep.
Oh, well.
So there you go. But yeah, apparently so. Come on, Kally. You're supposed to know this information.
No, was that Papa John's who got the red card in?
Yes, it was Cambridge. Yes, it was.
Yeah, but that red card didn't count. So can you not just play anyway?
It did.
It was a shit red
But
card.
it did, though, didn't it? Because it was a shit red card, not only because of the way it was given, but because it was a double yellow, which means you had no argument. Had it been a straight red, you could have taken that to the FA, couldn't you, Phil, and gone, you need to look at this. But double yellow.
This is where the rules are shit, man.
Yep. You can't appeal against the second yellow, and that's it, because it's a yellow card.
So if someone does a bad foul, a dangerous tackle or something that's potentially like a 3-game suspension, you can appeal that. But if someone has something and gets a second yellow, which really shouldn't have been a yellow, you can't suspend it even though the referee fucked up.
Just goes to show we live in a fucked up world, my friend.
This is why the referee really are. You know, that's why that chant's out there. Referee's a wanker. Because he fucking is.
It does.
So I'll tell you what. Just quickly, you know what I'm saying. Before the England game this afternoon, I had no intention of watching that game this afternoon because you know I'm at work. I was at work.
You did.
But
don't say that out loud, Phil. His boss might be watching.
But my boss phoned me this morning. He said, you know, just want to, you know, because he's out at meetings most of the week. He said, I'll catch up with you later in the week, Phil. I don't mind if you want to have a bit of time off to watch World Cup games, as long as you don't piss anyone off. I thought, okay, fine, fair enough. Went back to the house for lunch, watched the first half, and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought we would struggle to beat Iran. I thought it would be like a 0-0 or a slender 1-0 win. I thought this World Cup would have been a bit like the 2010 World Cup for us, you know, where we kind of struggled to get out of the group. Boy, was I proved wrong, and I'm actually quite pleased.
Well, we ain't out of it yet, Phil.
Well, I mean, I think if we beat the Americans on Friday night, I think it's Friday night, 7:00. We'll qualify with the goal difference we've got. So you know,
but don't go counting your chickens.
No, I mean, look, I'm not going to say it's coming home, but I did send everyone home at lunchtime because I said if it's coming home, you need to be home to receive it. Can't have someone. You got to be at home. But no, we watched. I went home from the afternoon to watch that. Sent everyone home as well. And it was just like, yeah, man. It was like you said. I was pleasantly surprised. I had us down as a 1-0 win today. I thought it was going to be one of those. Carlos Queiroz, good coach. You know, Iran, you know, aren't as, you know, bad as people make them out. Although we kind of dicked them today, which was lovely to see.
Where are Iran ranked in the world at the moment?
20th.
20th, really?
Higher than Scotland and Ireland. That's what I do know.
Wow.
I think I'm saying
I had a good chat with Mark Dowling, and he was talking about the World Cup. He says, "I'm boycotting," and I said, "Yeah, you've been boycotting the World Cup for 30 years. What are you on about?" So yeah,
I think
2002, last time they made an appearance, Matt Holland scored in the finals.
Yeah, I just want a word on that referee for us today, where he gave that penalty to Iran. You know, I think it wasn't the referee; it was the VAR official. I think it was from Uruguay.
Those three little words.
And I'll tell you that. I must admit, I would say we should have had a Stonewall penalty in the first half. If he'd have given that in the second half, Jesus Christ! I mean, say, what was it, WWE or something against Maguire in the first half?
It was proper wrestling move. I think we kind of move on from that because we're like, well, we won 6-2 in the end. Okay, 6-1.
Yeah, but it shouldn't have been 6-2. It should have been 6-0.
Well, no, 6-1 because you got Harry
Shoulda,
Maguire.
woulda, couldas. Shoulda, woulda, couldas. Right, Phil. I'll let you go. Thank you for popping on for us this evening. Look after yourself. All the best. I liked your team, Kally, for Papa John's.
I thought it was good.
It was.
I think if Edwards is out, then I'm going to drop Jackson as the wing back, and then I'm going to play Chaplin leading the line with Chihuahua and Harness. We're going big.
Yeah, I mean, it is a real test of the squad, isn't it? I guess, but then you're lucky that you've got Buxton on the Sunday, where you can again rotate heavily if you need to.
I don't think Portsmouth will have that much of a weaker team.
No. It's just I say it's come at the right time, isn't it?
Joe Pigott play, or is he?
What, the Portsmouth Harry Kane? Surely he's at the World Cup, isn't he? He was called Harry Kane by Kally, though, wasn't he? I'm sure I read that one in the summer.
Yeah, no, you're right. I forgot about that.
Surely he's on the World Cup.
Kally,
surely.
Man. I swear Cowley's on something. Man.
Oh, Matt Phillips loves Danny Kally. Only because from Essex, I'm sure of it.
Only because he's probably from his neck of the woods, isn't he? That's why.
Oh yeah. Don't get Matt on the topic. Right. To close the show, Overreaction Monday. To kick us off, we've got a couple that came in earlier. I read it out, but Mike D. Kiefer Moore becomes Inter Milan's most expensive signing and takes number 30 t-shirt to fill Christian Vieri's shoes. Monday Overreaction. We've got Norman, who's a qualified hypnotherapist. It's not an overreaction. This is actually what he does. You have a good voice for hypnosis. Thank you very much. And he also says, I help companies with leadership development, culture change, and improving team dynamics. Similar to what the guy in yellow shoes does for Town. Look at Norman. You could, get yourself a job at Town. The team dynamics. Just
as long as you don't wear bloody yellow shoes. That's something I always take up with him. I'm like, how are you at Ipswich wearing fucking yellow?
There's nothing wrong with yellow shoes. I wore yellow shoes in primary school. Got banned for the day, but that's the end result. Rightly
so. Yellow is a nasty colour. It's it's them up the road. Why would you ever want to associate with that?
You see, in 2022, if that happened, I would go straight to the Metro or other news publications and go, I was banned from school for wearing yellow shoes, and it'd be all over the social media, and it'd be haven't these teachers got better things to do than ban people for wearing yellow shoes?
There'd be a picture of you posing with your shoes like this.
Yes, for the old compo face, Got to be done. Yes, absolutely.
If that happens, then I'm with you for the compo claims. You know what I mean? It's like, he's suffering mental issues. He's mentally scarred now, PTSD when he sees the color yellow, all that shit.
Don't think I'll
put. Well, I've got a cousin that's a lawyer, so let me know.
Well, let's do it. There we go. Overreaction Monday, then. What is yours going to be this week, Mr. Kally? Your first Overreaction Monday. Welcome to the segment. Step on.
Mine is Connor Chaplin has purple patch. And what I mean by that is last season we seen it. He played, he plays well for a period of time, then he goes missing a little. And we're seeing that again. He had a great, was it September? He had a great September. He's been in, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but he's been kind of anonymous over the last couple of games. He's not really been at the races. He's not been that Chaplin we know about. He's not scoring. He's not assisting. He's just a player there at the moment. So he's not the Connor Chaplin from last month. I think we'll see another purple patch of his February time. But yeah, Connor Chaplin as a purple patch rather than Connor Chaplin is, and I'm not saying he's a crap player because clearly he's a good player, but yeah, that's my overreaction, if you like.
I like it. I mean, I'll take it. Why not? I mean, you got You got Colin here in the chat. Humphries is as good as Liam Gibbs now.
Or I got another one. Sam Morsey is a poor man's Jonathan Douglas.
What? Explain this to me.
I'm only joking. Because everyone keeps saying, "Oh yeah, you're always going to big up Sam. You're always going to big up Sam." So I said once.
Are they wrong?
Well, if he plays well, I'll big him up. But it just so happens that 99% of the games he plays for us, he's really good, right? So I just said, yeah, well, he's almost as good as Jonathan Douglas at Newcastle. And we all, when you say Jonathan Douglas at Newcastle, everyone remembers that one clip on YouTube where he's just watching the ball go around and he's just walking around the pitch. But yeah, that's another overreaction. But let's stick to the Chaplin one because I don't want to. I don't want to upset Sammy.
My overreaction Monday. Taking the Wales game out because the Wales game finished 1-1. Every World Cup should be played in the winter. Why? Because you're getting players in form, already up and running. There's been so far, bad early games. Like yesterday's game, Qatar, Ecuador, you could say was bad for quality, but it still had goals in it. England. When's the last time England started a World Cup game with 6 goals in the right net? Never.
I think you're right though as well. Like it's the form.
Yeah, everyone's in form. They've already, clicking, aren't they?
Tired. Well, players are tired towards the end of the season, whereas now
and they stop and then they restart, and it's almost like stop, start, and then you get this very disjointed early set of games, and then it doesn't really come alive to the knockouts where the jeopardy comes in. But so far, everyone looks top form. Everyone looks like they're having a great time on the pitch, and hey, every World Cup should be played in the winter time. That's my overreaction Monday. Play every World Cup in November.
I wouldn't be against that. I think, just like you said, if you look at the fact
I would be against it, really. But I mean, for quality purposes, at the moment, it looks, you've had 3 games, you've had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 goals.
Yeah, but 6 games was.
Doesn't matter if one team scored 14 of them, Kally. I've still seen 15 goals.
I think you've got a point. You've got a point with the the form in terms of they get off, they join up with the England team or their national teams, and they start and they just carry on where they picked up with clubs. We always think that's going to be the case in the summer. It never is because there's too much of a break or something. The only issue with that is the fact that just what we're used to. So like the hype around the tournament's not been there because
that's good. I don't want to watch, meat pie sausage roll coming in and give us a goal 400 times on box music TV or whatever the fuck it is. Like I don't want to hear Vindaloo blaring out across the nation for 3 weeks solid. I know they flew out on the Sunday. They're playing on the Monday. Bosh.
Yeah, I may have.
Big John says, bosh.
Yeah, I saw Hoxie tweet something like that. I was like, who is this guy?
TikTok again. Wow. It's Big John. He always has a Chinese, like every night of the week, Chinese, all these Chinese, always the end of it. Bow. He's great. Look him up. It is good fun. It is good fun.
Well, no, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole when I saw Hoxie tweet something. I was like, who is this guy? So I just went down and found a load of videos. And before I know it, you're on Instagram for about half an hour.
Bow. Yeah, no, I'm just getting back into Instagram, to be fair.
Oh, I love Instagram. I'm in Instagram. Twitter now and then for the Ipswich, but Instagram's my data. I waste a lot of time on Instagram.
Yeah, so, I'm just getting back into it, to be fair.
So the reason I don't reply to WhatsApp is because I'm pissing around on Instagram. I
did peek at my first message back in a long time saying, with the watch, time for a return. I should have just retired. Should have just retired after the end of that. That was peak.
I did like that.
Never going to top it, am I? Never going to top it. Ever. Come in with the big guns, and that's it. Right, we're done. We're back on Wednesday with who? I ain't got a clue. But we're here. We'll talk about Mark Ashton and the interview. We'll look ahead to Buxton. We'll talk about the Papa John's. We're obviously back tomorrow night for the Papa John's Matchday ticket. Myself, Stephen Neal. But until tomorrow...
Yeah, I follow. Or is that...
Yeah, it's an I follow. Yeah, it's an I follow. Yeah, it's an I follow, yeah.
So I don't need to catch a flight anywhere to watch it?
Nope. No. Just your front room, mate. Just need to go to your front room, go and sit on the sofa.
Put the fire stick in instead. Save a tenner.
Yeah. How you watch your TV is how you watch your TV. That's down to you.
Times are hard now. I've had to turn this extra light on and all that. That's probably cost me a tenner just on this show.
Yeah,
Do
did
know-
you see Joe Lycett? He burnt 10 grand, didn't he? Because obviously
No,
David
did you see the
Beckham.
follow-up? Did you see the
But-
follow-up?
Yeah, he didn't really burn
He
10
didn't
grand. But
really.
you see, jokes on him because I actually did burn 10 grand today because I put the heating on. So jokes on him.
Listen, I've got my missus wrapped up in the lounge with a bloody blanket and hoodie. This heating does not go on. Right. Heating
There we
stays
go.
off until December 31st.
Oh, okay. I've got a young kid in the house. Like I it's his fault. Yeah, it's a myth. They say that the larger you are, the more you don't feel the cold. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the larger
Bullshit.
you are,
I'm
you feel
freezing.
it fucking twice as fast. Because
Yeah.
I'm always cold. But anyway, we're back Wednesday. Tomorrow, 7:15, match day ticket. Until then, King Kally Bisla, all hail the king. We'll see you soon.